Yo, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you guys all had a great 4th of July holiday. I'm making this video a lot earlier than usual because it was a long day today. I'm pretty exhausted, so I want to get this video out of the way as quick as I can. Before we get started, please be sure to drop a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We have a pretty solid slate here of 8 games for this Thursday. Pitching is looking pretty weak as a whole. We do have one ace at the top, and that's who I'm going to go to. Especially on DraftKings, where we have 2 pitchers to roster. I'm just not confident in a lot of these mid-range options. Verlander is expensive at 13.4. He's coming off 2 down games in a row, and the 2 games that he didn't play well in were against teams that he should have had success against, especially with the Rays. But I think it's a good spot for him to get back on track. A couple down games in a row. Verlander is a great pitcher. He should definitely get right back on track today. It's a good matchup here against the White Sox, and Verlander just has so much upside here and just so much safety in this matchup at home, where he's excellent this year, and he did have a good game against this team earlier this year. Hopefully he can get that close to 30 DraftKings points, but we all know he has so much upside, so much strikeout upside, and this White Sox team does strike out well above average. So 13.4, I love Verlander here. As my SP2, I'm going to go with Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves. It's 7,500. It's a great price for him. He's only making his second start of the year. He was coming out of the bullpen before. Made a great start against the Cardinals, where he put up 37 DraftKings points. It's just a great matchup against the Brewers, who struggle against lefties a lot. They are 29th in the league in batting average versus southpaws this season, only hitting .221 as a team. And they're also only 24th in the league in slugging percentage, only slugging .378 versus lefties. So Max has great strikeout stuff, great stuff in general with his pitches, and I think he can have good success against this Brewers team. We know he has so much upside, and this Brewers team does strike out a lot, especially against lefties. So against Thames, against Shaw, just a lot of good matchups here for him. I think he can take advantage of that. Now for the offenses today, I really love the Diamondback stack. Not a lot of offenses that I love today, so Diamondbacks are definitely my number 1 on the list. So starting with that, first baseman, I love Paul Goldschmidt here. He's expensive at 5,200, but definitely warranted. Whenever I see Paul Goldschmidt against a lefty, I start salivating, because he has just been locked in versus lefties throughout his career, and he's just been locked in at the plate over the last month and a half, 2 months. Last 10, as you see, he's been absolutely slaying, 378 with a 676 slugging. And Eric Lawler has been absolute hot garbage against righties this year. Righties are hitting 328 with a 520 slugging percentage versus Lauer. And the Diamondbacks just have so many great righties, especially now that Pollock is healthy and back in the lineup. And they also have so many good hitters against lefties that I love a full-on Diamondback stack today. Starting with Goldschmidt at first base, so much upside. Against lefties this year, he's hitting 301 with a 675 slugging. So much power with Goldschmidt, so I like him a lot at 5,200 first base. Third base, I'm going to go with Jorge Polanco of the Twins. This is a steal at this price tag. Only 3,000. First 2 games that he was back from his suspension, he obviously struggled, but he has so much power, so much upside here. Actually, July 4th today, he went 2 for 3 with a stolen base and an RBI against the Brewers, so he's starting to heat up at the plate, starting to get his timing down, but he just has so much stuff, as you see. Last year, second half, he had 293 with 10 home runs. Also does have speed as well, and during his minor league assignment, he went 8 for 19 with the home run, so about time that he gets it going. Great matchup here against the Orioles at home. It should be Andrew Cashner pitching, not David Hess. And Cashner has been really bad to both sides of the plate this year. And Polanco has so much raw power and speed. 3,000, you can play him at shortstop or third base. It's a steal of a price tag. Next up, shortstop, I like Nick Ahmed at 3,300. I always play Ahmed versus lefties pretty much every time. His numbers are elite versus lefties this year. 287 batting average, 529 slugging percentage. He cannot hit righties at all, but against lefties, he is amazing. He also gets a huge lineup boost versus lefties. He bats up to number 2nd in the batting order versus lefties, so that is a great. So not only are you getting a very cheap hitter, you're getting a cheap number 2 hitter that crushes lefties. hitting at home Against Lawler, who I mentioned, his numbers against righties are extremely bad. Over 300, 328 batting average, over 500 slugging. And AHMED does have a lot of power upside, and so I love him at the shortstop. Very cheap. And then in the outfield, we're going to give you guys another cheap player, and that is Ryan Rua of the Texas Rangers. Rua is a lefty killer. There's just nothing around that. He's having a down year at the plate, but he's heating up lately. See, he has home runs in a couple of his last 5 games, 2 out of the last 5. He also just crushes lefties. This year he has a .512 slugging percentage versus lefties. 3 home runs and only 43 at-bats. And throughout his career, he's hitting .265 with a .432 slugging versus lefties. Fantasy Labs has him projected to hit 6th in the lineup against Matt Boyd. And if that's the case, I'm going to be all over that at a cheap price of only $2,700. Allows you to spend up for Verlander and stack up Goldschmidt, even Pollock if you want him. Allows you to stack up some expensive bats along with expensive pitchers, and does have good upside here. So I like Ryan Rua a lot against Matt Boyd, who has been pretty good this year, but throughout his career has really struggled. Versus righties, giving up a .273 batting average and a .467 slugging for Boyd throughout his career versus righties. So I love Rua at just $2,700 at the steal. So there you have it. Those are the 6 guys I got for you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Good luck today.